Hey everyone, how are you today? This is Deanna Fenton. We're all being told how important it is to use Facebook Live to get in front of our audiences. Now, one of the things is figuring out an easy way to repurpose that content and make it available on different platforms and in different forms, so that you can reach the audience in a greater way. Because let's be honest, one, not everybody's on Facebook. Oh my gosh, I know that's just blasphemy, but I guess it's true. So this is a tool that I have, which is called Repurpose. So in of itself, this is a fantastic tool, because what you're able to do with Repurpose is take different platforms and online sources and connect them. And it happens automatically. So let me give you just a quick overview. Number one, you start with a connection. Here's a connection. Here's examples of a connection. An audio podcast. So those of you who are doing podcasts or are thinking of using podcasts in your marketing, you're able to connect that podcast to all of these different connections. So there's an audio podcast as an input, video podcast, Facebook, which would be your Facebook Lives, Google Drive. So if you want to automate storing files or downloading and saving files to your Google Drive, you could do that here. SoundCloud, which is an extremely popular podcasting platform and directory, kind of like iTunes. Dropbox, of course, same thing as with Google Drive. YouTube, so you can use your YouTube channel. We're going to talk about how that could be pretty exciting. Libsyn, which is a podcast hosting provider. So that means you can upload your podcast files automatically to Libsyn. Binge Network, these are all the available connections that you can use. So for example, in my case, my Facebook page is a connection. My Dropbox account is a connection. My Google Drive, my podcast, SoundCloud, and my account on SoundCloud is connected. My second podcast is on here, and my YouTube channel. Okay, so we've established these are all connections that you can make with various social media platforms, data storage platforms like Google Drive and Dropbox, as well as your podcast accounts. Now, once you've established your connections, we talk about something called workflows. And workflows are the actual processes. I'm trying not to get super technical, use technical language. These are the different things, the functions you can create to make things happen automatically. So, for example, my podcast, I had set up that once my podcast was published, I could upload it automatically to my YouTube channel as a video with an image. And it was one of those cool images that then showed the audio wave going across the screen. I could add my keywords, my tags, all of the social media SEO kind of details that I wanted to that particular video, and I could add it to a set playlist. All of that happens automatically. So the goal of this is, how can you get a written transcription of your Facebook Live automatically? And this is how you do it. And these are the different connections. So let me go back to the connections and show you this. So the first connection is my Facebook page. And you can do it also in a Facebook group, because I did that in a Facebook group as well. Then the second connection is either your Dropbox or your Google Drive, whatever works, whatever you typically work with more often than not. And then the final connection is this particular tool called, it's a service actually, Tammy. Those of you who may have been using Rev for your transcription services, this is another offshoot of Rev, and Rev is human transcription, which means you upload an audio file or a video file, and a human being listens to it and types the transcription of your video or audio. Tammy is what is called a machine or speech recognition software, where it's going to be a machine that's going to do the transcription. So because of that, it's a lot cheaper than Rev is. Rev is typically $1 a minute. So if you had an hour-long podcast or Facebook Live, that's going to cost you $1 a minute to have that transcribed. Look at the price for Tammy, 10 cents a minute. And I believe, at least it did it for me, the first one is free. So if you've never signed up and you've never used this, your first transcription is free, so you can test it out. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard. Now, Tammy, you can see here, is not one of the connections in Repurpose. So how do you connect a Facebook Live recording to get that transcription? Well, there's another tool called Zapier. Let me get you to that screen. And Zapier is an amazing, magical connecting tool, because we all use so many different kinds of apps and different tools in operating our online businesses. Not all of those tools integrate to each other. Now, for example, I use apps that connect different tools to Google Sheets, to my Gmail, to my Slack, Facebook, Google Drive, Instagram, Google Calendar, Asana. I mean, I can use a lot of these connections through Zapier. What we're going to do now is I'm going to show you my Zap. If I can get back to my dashboard, there we go. And I'm going to demonstrate to you what this guy talked about in the group and how it works. So my goal is to have a transcription of my Facebook Lives. So this is my Zap to do that. I use Repurpose. Now, let me show you my workflow, and then I can show you how this all works. Hang on, I want to show you. Let's go to edit so you can see it. What I told Repurpose to do is anytime I created a Facebook Live on my Facebook page, to import that video and convert it from video to an audio file and put it in Dropbox and put it in a specific folder in Dropbox. And that was my workflow. So I only do this once. I create my workflow. Now, here is the question. How do I get that Facebook Live audio file to Tammy to have it transcribed? Well, that is where Zapier comes in. What I did with Zapier is I said, when there is a new file in a Dropbox folder, and I designated that folder. Well, this is the connection to my Dropbox. I told it, put that file in this Dropbox folder named Facebook Live Audios. Then it gives you a chance to test it, right? So I had a chance to test, make sure it would connect to the correct folder. Now comes the magic. This is the part that is so exciting. There is a Tammy app, Zap, excuse me, that you can choose. And you can tell it to submit a new transcription job to Tammy when there is a new file. That was my connection. When there is a new file placed in that folder. And what happened was, this was the Facebook Live I did yesterday. And you can see over here, it already says done, because once I finished broadcasting, that workflow ran that converted the video to an audio file, and it placed it, hang on, I just forgot to open Dropbox for you so you could see. It placed it right there in my Facebook Live Audios folder on Dropbox. Now, once that file hit that folder, then the Zap took over. Now, remember, the Zap was set that when there's a new file in that Dropbox folder, it's going to submit the order to Tammy. So yesterday, it submitted that audio file as a new order for Tammy, and it transcribed it. And within mere minutes, I had a transcription. And here's the transcription. Okay. I'm clicking it. All right, let's get rid of that guy. There we go. And here's my transcription. Now, I will be 100% transparent with you. You still probably should or have somebody scan through this and make sure that it's catching all of the correct transcription, because again, this is speech recognition by software. It's machine transcription. It's not the same as a human being. So it can sometimes miss things, but I will tell you that I tested this whole thing before I even did the Facebook Live. I tested it with a little 2-minute audio file that I had, and it did a really, really good job. Now, you may be saying, what do I do with this now? Well, I hope maybe some light bulbs went on and you thought, wait a minute, this can be a transcription that you upload as captions for a YouTube video or your Facebook Live. It's also something that you can use to create show notes on your website. It's, let's say, I should also point out that Repurpose, the developer of Repurpose, has another WordPress plugin called Simple Social Press that automatically pulls your Facebook Live videos into your WordPress website as a post. You can just go into there, copy your transcription as your show notes, or you can make it a separate PDF download for those who, instead of, maybe they don't have time to watch the video right now, they can read the show notes. You can take these notes, you can edit them, you can use them as social media posts, social media content. So Repurpose, and I will be honest, transparency, this is an affiliate link. That right there is an affiliate link. I find it so much easier to edit existing content and repurpose that content in other places than trying to sit down and come up with something new every time. And I'm telling you, those of you with courses or membership site, this provides the content that you're going to use in your groups, your membership site, or your courses, and gives you another way. Because We have to remember, not everybody has time to watch a video. They don't want to watch a video, but they can print out a transcript or read a transcript on their phones or on a tablets, and you can make that happen for them very, very easily without extra effort. So I mentioned the Facebook group, the free Facebook group. I am going to be doing more videos like this in that group every week. I'm also looking to have a lot of engagement and find a lot of you and understand some of the challenges that you have, so I can help kind of customize the content that we're going to be presenting in that group to help you out. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned something. I hope this tip really helped you out. If you have any questions, pop them in the comments, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.